Here you flash for Jin, just make sure that when you flash for this guy, it's useful. Like what I mean by that is that you're not going to have another flash in this game. Your next flash will be up at 31 minutes if you flash now.
Yeah.
So I want you to make sure that when I flash for this guy now, we are getting Nash. You know, we're getting Nash or we're ending the game. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
That's a hard skill to learn, but it's very important. Because again, your flash is so important since... Okay, so I had some questions before we actually watched the game. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. So this obviously isn't your first account. I mean, you have two little games, right?
Yeah.
So what happened to your previous accounts?
A little backstory from playing since I think season 2, end of season 2. I get really emotional, so I have a lot of Permabanned accounts. Yeah, but last season I peaked Diamond 1. Mainly playing Talon. And yeah, that account is now Emerald 1, and I'm not touching it.
So the reason why I'm asking is because there's a lot of people that are in the same boat as you. What I mean by that is they go on a new account, they get to their peak or close to their peak, account gets banned, they get new account, and they do the same thing again. Right? So the thing is, like, isn't that a gigantic waste of time? Like, it takes you like what, 50 games to get back to your main elo? Probably, right? Something like there. Because with the win rate you're having now, you're probably gonna have like 50% win rate in like 15-20 games. Probably it's gonna like go down to 50, you know? Because you're gonna start climbing up, right? So you're gonna lose your win rate. So isn't it completely useless to get banned and then make a new account, get banned again?
In my defense, I haven't been banned in the last year, probably.
Okay.
But yeah, I still get a lot of accounts.
30 games in a year? There's been other accounts here, right?
Yeah.
So why did you stop on those accounts?
That's a good question.
Because the thing is, you said you peaked D1, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you peaked D1, okay. So the practice you are getting versus Emerald players and stuff is not as good as D2, D3, D1 players, right?
Yes.
Obviously. And it's easier to get better if you're getting punished and you are making mistakes, right?
Yes.
But that will happen more if you're playing in higher level games, no?
Yeah, makes sense.
So that's why I'm saying, like, all this like fresh account spam and swapping accounts, it's just gigantic waste of time. It teaches you nothing, and your elo changes all the time, which is very bad because it's very different playing in like a silver gold game to like a D1 game. You know, like the shit that's happening here is different from here, and the mistakes that you are allowed to make in this elo compared to this is also different. And it just feels so weird swapping between that all the time. So it's really strange to say like, oh, I'm really emotional so I get banned. But that's not really true. A lot of people are emotional about the game and they care about the game, like me too. But I'm never getting banned. Because I want to win the game and I want to climb and I want to get better. So I'm not going to get banned. That's a waste of my time. I'm still emotional, I'll still be upset sometimes, right? I'll still be tilted sometimes, but I'm not going to get banned.
Maybe I'm just toxic at this point. It's gotten better, for sure.
But how has it gotten better? What have you done to make it better?
Well...
Because this account is 30 games, right? So what happened to your older account?
I basically stopped playing on them.
Okay, so that's another thing then. Why? Why do you stop playing an account? Because you got bad win rate?
because I'm getting stuck in D4.
Okay.
And frustrated.
So, I've been coaching League now for like 6 years. And this is not something new. The fresh account spammers, like I like to call them, they're everywhere. So many people like that. That are just like what you're saying now. oh, the account got stuck. It's 50% win rate. It's no longer nice to look at. You wake up in the morning, you go to your OPGG, you see, fuck, my win rate is 50%. Go next account. You're not even playing the game then.
My view, though, has changed on, like, in the past few years, I realized, I mean, yeah, getting to master is, like, fine and all that, but I started to care more about improving. And yeah, well, it makes sense on a new account. I don't really improve because my game quality is lower than what I used to play.
It's like you're practicing, like you're playing chess or something versus somebody that's way lower rating, or you're a fucking professional football player and you're playing versus a bunch of children, you know, like,
yeah,
it's borderline useless. And you have to, like, if you're a higher level player and you're playing in silver, you have to, like, visualize and imagine the mistakes. They're not actually happening, you know? You have to, like, imagine, okay, if this guy goes good, I get punished here. But it's completely different to imagine that and experiencing it, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm so hard on it, because, like, I'm gonna watch your gameplay and I'm gonna tell you a lot of things you're doing wrong that you have to improve on. But it's gonna be really hard to improve on them if you're perma-swapping accounts and just getting banned or moving on from an account. And it's also not good for your mental to care that much about losses. Like, it's really fucking bad for your mental that because you lose 4 games in a row, you're already thinking, oh, it's my account. I need to change account. It's not going to change anything. Even if you change account and you get to this elo with 5% more win rate this time, you haven't improved. So you're still going to get stuck at D1.
Yeah.
You might get lucky. You maybe get lucky and get some extra wins this time. Or because you have better LP gains, maybe you get 1 extra, like, tier. Maybe you go to master. 0 LP. But you're not going to stay there unless you improved. Right?
Yeah.
So
sense.
there's no point to, like, play League as if it's some fucking lottery and you go 100 accounts and one of them is the golden ticket that is going to get you to high elo and magically you're now really fucking good.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Because all of those games that you end up playing in silver and whatever, you could have played it in highest elo possible and been playing to actually get better, because if you do get better, you will climb. It's always been like that. It's always like that in anything in life. If you truly want something, you gotta do what's necessary to get there. And then you will get there. So I don't know about you, but when I was playing these 2 items only, I was going sometimes.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Because you don't have presence of mind. And that's another reason why Frozen Heart is a lot better on this type of build than something like when you're playing Roa build, you already have so much mana, you know? Because you have Roa, Malignance, and Seraphs. So, and you're also so tanky already with the Roa.
Do you build those items together? Because I really don't like Rod of Ages, Malignance.
I go Roa into Seraph, and then I go either Sonya's, Crypt Bloom, Lichbane, or Malignance.
Because I tried Rod of Ages, and I really don't like that. I don't know how to play with the item. I just feel like so useless. And
it might just be too bad.
Yeah, that probably it.
It's just different.
I tried it, and I always feel like as if I have no impact. If I had like Malignant Seraphs, I'd be level 11, and I could already be like doing something on the map. But like with Rod of Ages, I feel like you're so restricted.
That's just different. Like, you are able to do what you're able to do based on the draft. Like, if you are playing Kassadin, right, versus full squishy team that you can just jump on and kill, right?
Yeah.
Like, they have champs like Talia. They have, I don't know, fucking Zed top lane, 680C. If you are playing no Rod of Ages and you're just running around one-shotting people, you're OP, right?
Yeah.
But some games, I don't think that build is, like, playable. I think some games, they are playing stuff like a fucking tank mid, like Galio or something, you know?
Yeah.
And then they play, like, some tank top. Fucking Malphite, some Poppy here. If I play the no mana build, right? So the fucking no Roa, no presence of mind, and I'm playing Seraph's Malignance, I'm after 2 fucking ultis.
Yeah,
and
sense.
I'm not snowballing in this game, no?
Yeah.
In this game, shouldn't I be playing more like side lane and stuff? and
Yeah,
being more
totally.
tanky
Yeah.
and playing more like Conqueror build.
Most of the time, I feel like if I go out of Aegis, especially into like those tanky comps where like I can't like go in and kill them, it obviously makes sense to go out of Aegis. But I feel like if my team gets behind, I just don't know what to do if I'm like scaling later into the game.
But this is irrelevant to think about, because let's say you're playing Kassadin in this game, and your team is dog shit, like you're saying. You're saying your team is bad, okay? Let's say your team is bad. You're playing Kassadin. If you have First Strike Seraph Maligans, are you gonna go and one-shot the fucking Poppy that has Face Rush and Mercs and some other shit?
I won't, no.
Right, so it's all in your head. It doesn't matter. Like, both builds are good. It just depends on the game. You know? Like, some games, yeah, you can just go First Strike and go crazy and play full squishy and you one-shot everybody. And that's fine. But some games you really can't play, and what you are describing is just Kassadin. It's not build related. If you're playing Kassadin and at level 6 your whole team has already griefed the game, it's just Kassadin. You know? You're not playing something like Talon with Ignite, Electrocute, Scorch, where, oh, my team sucks, I'm gonna kill enemy mid level 2. Doesn't work like that. You're Kassadin.
Which champ do you personally think is easier to play or execute, like Kassadin or Talon?
Well, it depends in what sense. I think Kassadin's early game is so fucking easy, because you only have one job, which is to try to farm and stay alive. Your only job is to like make your lane like safe, you know, by like taking creep aggro or something, like queuing them and pulling the wave and stuff like this. That is literally your only job. Whereas Talon's job is to like, he can play more aggro, play with his jungler, look to roam, he can freeze and all in. Kassadin can't do these things in early lane. So I'd say Kassadin is like harder to play in mid to late game because you have more opportunities. At the end of the day, this is how I think of like difficulty. It's like, what are you capable of doing? You know, if a champion isn't able to do much, then he's very easy. That's why I think Kassadin early game is easy, because you don't have any choices to make, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas Talon early game, you have a lot more choices, so it's pretty hard. But mid to late game Talon is pretty easy, because you don't do that much, you know, compared to Kassadin. Like, Kassadin can be so creative in mid to late game. Like, the flanks that Kassadin can do is like completely different than any other champion, you know?
Okay,
that's interesting. Like, his side laning strength is better than Talon's as well in mid to late game.
Yeah.
There's a lot more macro in Kassadin as well in mid to late game. But yeah, on the build topic, I think that both builds are just good, and the Roa one is just better when you aren't really able to snowball in the game, you think.
Yeah.
And then, because the items, you will become stronger later. And of course, yeah, you are weaker early. But this doesn't always even matter, because if you couldn't do anything anyways, like I said, in this drafts, it's hard to do much with the other build anyways. So yeah. And if you're playing Roa and you have like 3 items, it's not like you can't one-shot enemy ADC. Like, you are flash on them, you're gonna one-shot them anyways.
Yeah,
I think.
true.
So yeah, I mean, you're against Veigar. Veigar, obviously not that strong early game, right?
Yeah.
Main thing versus Veigar is that obviously he has gank set up, right? His cage. And as Kassadin, you should always try to think, how do I avoid losing my flash early? Or if I lose my flash, it should be in like a good way. Like, what I mean by that is like, if you lose your flash to like fix your wave or something like that, that's okay. But the last thing you want to happen is that you get frozen on here and you lose your flash and it's still frozen. That's pretty bad, you know?
Yeah.
Because like, laning against Kassadin is very systematic. What I mean by this is every champion pushes you in. So enemy has a choice. What happens? They can crash second wave and let 3, 4, 5 bounce into them. They can crash third and let 4, 5, 6 bounce into them.
Sorry for interrupting. I did some research, but I've seen some people say that you should contest the wave level 1 so it doesn't crash. What does it do exactly? Is it worth to trade your HP? For example, against like Syndra or...
No. You will just die to their auto attacks. Especially if you play your setup, you are getting Dove wave free.
Yeah, but I've seen people like go W level 1 and just like
If you go W, Kassadin versus Syndra, you are dead level 2. We can go 1v1 right now, and I go play Syndra with Aerie, and you go play Kassadin.
Yeah, same. I wasn't really sure.
Yeah, I mean, you can skill W sometimes if the if enemy melee champion like ints or something, you know? But like, my rule on Kassadin is I always do Q or E level 1, because like sometimes all the melees are the same health. They're all like this, like 1 HP, all melees. And then I like to skill E, so I get all 3.
Yeah, you know? That's what I do as well sometimes.
But you cannot auto the creeps versus the Syndra, that's human.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. I was like, okay, I mean, I get the idea behind not them crashing the wave, but what do you get out of it?
It would be great if you actually could, but you can't, especially not with this setup. You have no second wind, no dark seal.
Yeah.
So it's not doable. So here you get to keep your TP, which is pretty nice to do as Kassadin, because you are still not like strong. You're not like at a point where you're gonna like win your lane like perm or something. So having TP in the case that you get like chunked and you have to TP back is really good on this champion. But fundamentally for laning, often here, if you are like stronger, you would now TP back to like keep him in lane, you know? Like here you TP back and now you're like poking him and then you're like freezing now and fighting him. Make sense?
If you didn't reset. Well, even if you reset it.
Even if you both reset. If you now TP'd like 10 seconds ago, right?
Yeah.
You would have poked him a little bit, whatever, and then now you're freezing and you're fighting him. But you're playing Kassadin, so you can't right now. I'm just saying that, like, fundamentally, it's not good to keep your TP here, because you'd want to bully him and fight him here. Your Rek'Sai is also here, so if you manage to fight and hold a wave here, then Veigar is pretty fucked, right?
Yeah.
So for example, if you are a level 6 Kassadin right now in base, then you could argue that if you TP back right now, and you start to poke him a little bit, and then you do like a trade here, then he's going to be a bit chunked, right? And he might be scared to crash this wave because your Rek'Sai is missing.
Especially
does that make sense?
Yeah, he flashed into Pete as well, so...
Because there isn't any value in holding this, except for TPing back in lane later. Because it's not like we're at 9 minutes. If we are at 9 minutes, and you're telling me I want to keep my TP, because I'm going to get unleashed TP soon, you know? You understand? Makes sense, right? But we are at 6 minutes. So there isn't any value in holding my TP, except for I think I need to use it back to lane later. So yeah, if you can see in game, okay, I'm level 6 right now. If I TP back, I can fight him and like stop him from crashing or get a good trade or something. Then that is really good. Even if he eventually ends up crashing, if you get to like do a good trade, then when you are bouncing into him, you'll have a good situation, you know? Like he'll be like chunked or something. Make sense?
Yeah.
Because like, if I'm Veigar right now, I'm no flash. If Kassadin is like here fighting me and stopping me from crashing, I'm really scared. I'm wondering like, where is Rek'Sai? Why is Kassadin so aggressive? Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Here, I would fight him again. If you're playing First Strike, right? I think you should do this a lot more. Like, when you're playing First Strike, you need to just trade to get gold. You know?
Yeah.
So like here, when you farm this melee, if I jump on Veigar now, do I lose any creeps?
Nope.
No. Okay. How can Veigar proc my First Strike?
If he hits Q.
Okay. You should think like that. Look here. What's Veigar gonna do on this melee?
Gonna Q it.
Am I in a position to go on him if he Qs it?
No.
Why am I here?
Yeah, too far away.
Right? Why am I here? It makes no sense, right? So it's like, okay, what am I scared of? Because if the argument is jungle, then sure, that can be an argument. But for your 1v1, it makes no sense to stand here compared to like on the sides. Because if I'm you now, if he uses Q, I really want to go on him. Right? And if he uses Q on me, I'll try to R to the side, and then I'm gonna E and Q him and stuff. I want to chunk with First Strike. And I still have my teleport. So if I make mid a banger, right? Like we're both fighting, I can TP back, worst case, right?
Yeah.
If my first strike gives me gold, then like I said before, my total gold and XP will be high. So I will get Malignance faster. I'll spike faster, and I'll snowball faster. But the way that you're playing, you snowball so slowly. He's just farming in front of you, using all his spells, and you're not poking him with your first strike. If I can fight grubs here, I'm not basing for Malignance. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
Because the thing is, if you give them grubs now, right? And you base for Malignance, there's not gonna be a fight right now when you come with Malignance, because the fight was this. So I'm not saying to fight the grubs, I'm saying you need to know that when you push this and you get Malignance, because you already know, I have 200 gold, I have Malignance, right? So you already know, okay, I have Malignance to base. Do I actually want to base now, or can I fight grubs? I don't know how fed your Rek'Sai is. I don't know how useless your Volibear is. So I don't really care what you choose, but I feel like you don't think about it. You just think, okay, I have Malignance. And you're not going to win the game that way. You had a choice here to 2v2 them on grubs and have Volibear come as well. And you chose not to. Without really thinking about it, I feel like. See? Like, this is so trash, by the way. Like, you can't be doing this. You can't recall for Malignance and then cancel to go to grubs. What advantage do you have over Veigar now?
My presence, I guess, that I'm here and did not recall.
You were both there. You have the same timer now, right?
Yeah.
So you never do this. That is my exact point. You didn't think about them doing grubs, right? You didn't think that that is a possibility, and that's what needs to change. You need to realize now, okay, after this wave, I have my item. Is there something else I can use my timer for? Because getting an item is great, but if I have a good play somewhere else, I would rather use my timer for that. Because it's not like this is my only recall, right? If this is my only recall, or I'm fucked, then of course I'll get my item. Let's say you're this HP right now. He's not gonna let you push the next wave, right?
Yeah.
But the recall you're doing now, you could do after this wave. You agree?
Probably, yes.
Right? Veigar is not gonna stop you from one-shotting this wave, right?
Yeah.
He might chunk you, but it's not gonna kill you. So that's my point. It's weird to choose to get Malignance now when there's an obvious thing to do. Rek'Sai, no camp, no camp, no camp, no camp, no camp. Rek'Sai's only option now is to base or to go here.
I think my thought process was like, okay, Volibear just died. He's like, did it
yes,
come
but
from
then
base?
it doesn't make sense
away.
to cancel. Right? That's my point.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with getting Malignance. It just makes no sense to recall for Malignance and then cancel your recall because you now realize Rek'Sai is going to grubs. That is my problem.
So do I just
because you
go
could
back
be here
anyways?
sweeping and already be here.
Yeah.
And then you could do so many things. You could go on them before Veigar is there. You could trap the Veigar in fog. You lose these options because of what you did. It's not that what you're doing here is bad. It can be bad. But you should never ever cancel your recall and then go and do this. You're just making the play worse. Right? So I like to call these things like small victories. Okay? So what I mean by that is, you already got a small win. Watch. This is good. Here is good. But why are we able to go on him?
Because Veigar still was mid lane?
Uh-huh. Yep. That's the main reason. Does Rek'Sai have spells now?
Nope. He used everything.
Only has ult, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Only way you kill this guy now is you R-flash on him. Agree?
Yes.
What will happen to you after you R-flash on him? Here.
I will most likely die. To Veigar?
Okay. Does this guy have a shutdown?
Don't think so.
Veigar flashed over this wall, by the way.
Yeah.
So is it a good play?
Not really, no.
Veigar should get double kill now. But this play was not bad. It just went bad. You agree?
Yeah.
So you need to understand what we're doing. Look, you guys have a fast play here, right? You have a fast timer. Rakan is bot right now. Jhin is bot right now. Do you think they're gonna keep clicking bot when they see this?
No, they're not.
No. So we're not chasing this guy and flashing under his tier 2 turret. Unless he's worth it, right? If he has a 400 gold shutdown right now, then sure, you can argue it's worth it. That's fine. But probably this guy's only worth 300 gold. I don't know. Right? Maybe we saw it sometime, but right now what I'm thinking is I'm just going to live now. If you now just flash out and just ult away, then it's fine.
Yeah, I could.
You guys don't need to chase this guy this hard. Even at this point, honestly, it's bad for Rek'Sai to flash, to be honest. It's just like a good look, because you have nothing else to do, you know?
Yeah.
So like, I think this is fine. But like now, we could already ping to back off and click away. But then also now, you could still go away. You don't care, because you are thinking, oh, I need to kill this guy. And it turns out the guy had no shutdown. So didn't we completely grief the game there?
Absolutely.
You lose so much from this. So many creeps. But yeah, like it just requires a lot of discipline and understanding of like why we're even doing what we're doing. But yeah, like we're doing this because we have first move, and if he doesn't die instantly, it'll be very bad to chase. So when you're playing side lane, just understand what your job is on side lane. Like you don't have teleport right now, so staying bot lane isn't so good. You know, like if you have TP up, you don't need to like rotate as much necessarily. You can play more like greedy in side lane, you know, because you can always TP. But here, since you don't have TP, you can't really stay bot if you need to like rotate to somewhere, right? You're gonna have to rotate around. Like here, Kassa is going bot. Do you want that?
I mean, yes, I guess.
Why?
Because I want to go mid.
Okay, but why do you want to be mid? Are we gonna fight Herald when Aatrox is here, fisting your Volibear?
Probably not, no.
So then why do you want to go mid?
I mean, I think my thought process was she was going bot, so I just switched lanes with her.
Okay, so she clicks bot, so then you just bend over and she's gonna go bot at 15 minutes as the ADC. If Kai'Sa goes bot, where does Fresh have to go?
Bot as well.
Isn't Kai'Sa a free kill from Rengar on repeat if she's alone on bot lane?
Yeah.
Okay. If you have two people on bot lane, isn't topside completely unplayable then?
Yes.
Like you can't even have a ward on your Raptors? Isn't it much better your bot lane is mid on the center of the map? You have two people on the center of the map and then one guy on each side, than having two people on a side?
Yeah, makes
because
sense.
your Kai'Sa cannot be alone on bot lane this game. Versus Rengar. She's dead on cooldown.
Yeah.
And you are playing Kassadin. You should be happy to be on side lane since you can at least escape. And you're gonna chill and get solo XP and farm and shit, right?
Yeah.
And then you can push and rotate. Your Kai'Sa cannot even push. She will just die to Rengar. So now your Fresh and Kai'Sa goes here. Now this makes no sense. Now Veigar got mid push. If Kai'Sa and Fresh stayed mid, they would be at least farming this evenly, you know? So now Veigar has a timer too. And now you will see the map. Rek'Sai goes top here. He could have Kai'Sa and Fresh around, having a Fresh lantern to help him, wards to help him, right? Instead he has only you, who have no vision, nothing. Here you flash for Jhin. Just make sure that when you flash for this guy, it's useful. Like what I mean by that is that you're not going to have another flash in this game. Your next flash will be up at 31 minutes if you flash now.
Yeah.
So I want you to make sure that when I flash for this guy now, we are getting Nash. You know, we're getting Nash or we're ending the game. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
That's a hard skill to learn, but it's very important. Because again, your flash is so important since you can one-shot whoever you want, Veigar, Jhin, whoever you want, you can one-shot them in the next team fight. So I don't want you now, let's say, Dead, dead, dead. If you flash to kill this guy to save the inhib, I don't want you to do that. I'd rather see this guy run away and live. Because if your team is dead, it's useless to kill Jhin here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You don't need gold right now.